4, 5, me taca no carro, bicho. 1, 2, 3, vou sarrando na PT. 4, 5, me taca no carro, bicho. 1, 2, 3, vou sarrando na PT. 4, 5,
How are you, gang? Today I'm flying solo as a bird, because traveling and doing some stuff. I do have to keep my notifications on, so if you guys hear like a ding or a bling, 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 or whatever, that's probably the ball and chain letting me know that her dinner is over. So gotta go pick her up. But we are hanging for a little bit and want to say hi to all of you who are tuning in and listening to us. We got our homeboy Sir Glenn in the house. Hola, Sir Glenn. Thank you for being here. Supermod extraordinaire and awesome human being and amazing walker. Dude can walk. Man, uh, I got to get back to doing a little bit more walking. But hopefully, if I finish early, I might be able to head to pool. Yes. But we have so much going on today, and so much going on right now in the, shall we say, sphere of it all. It's a little bit crazy, a little bit fun, a little bit rock and roll, because things are going wacky all over the place, and it's funny to see, but at the same time, it's quite disheartening because you kind of feel like, whoa, what is going on with some folks? And, it does get a little bit like, hey, what's happening? What's up, brother? I'm here at Three Rock Creation. What is up? Thank you for hanging out with us. Yeah, so a lot of things have been happening. And I guess we'll start with something a little bit interesting and kooky. I don't know if you guys know, but the great First Lady, Michelle Obama, launched a how should I say, a podcast. I guess that's the thing. Everybody's launching podcasts because it's the best thing to do. So her and her brother released a podcast.
Hey, TikTok.
This is what they
It's
say.
Michelle Obama, and I'm here with my big brother, Craig.
Hey, everybody.
We're here because we're excited to announce the launch of our new podcast called IMO with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson.
And we just posted the trailer if you want to check it out.
Check it out. Thanks, you guys. See you soon.
There you go. They are starting a podcast, and actually, we do have some numbers on that podcast, and it's quite interesting because it's not really working out as well as they thought they would. I mean, this is the former First Lady of the United States, of one of the supposedly most charismatic and well beloved presidents of the United States. So, starting out with very little views, as you can see here, it's quite shocking. I don't know if it's because the marketing might not have gone as planned, or maybe it was just that, hey, this is not something that folks are interested in, to check out her and her brother chat about different things. But yeah, we will see how this pans out and how exactly this is going to kind of have an effect on the stream of podcasts that are coming up. You guys let me know, because I know that we have Mr. Gavin Newsom, super podcast extraordinaire, doing one, and we'll see how that goes. It seems like he's trying to court the right on his end, and Obama is trying to court more of the, I would say, female audience. We would say, maybe. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. But I think that we've been talking about, I don't know if you guys have been following our shorts, we've been kind of covering this. And also in the last stream, we covered the little hero that we have, DJ Daniels, that he was honored recently with, a lot of different acolytes and stuff like that. So we did see some kind of attacks on him, which was kind of sad, and we hate to see it. What do you think? So Tree Rock says she's fake people on the internet want to talk to real people. That is a thing. I think that a lot of people are starting to see kind of pass some of this hype of the. You start seeing it a lot more, especially with I think Meghan Markle was doing a podcast and people are saying, "Oh my gosh, that thing really is fakety fake." And yeah, you do start to see some of these things to where you start thinking to yourself, who is watching and are they really watching, or are we just bot farming certain things? Sir Glenn says, I put all this celeb podcasts into the Brie Larson category. They'll be gone soon enough. Oh my gosh, yeah, thanks, Sir Glenn. I think, didn't she have a yoga type of podcast not too long ago? Where, yeah, I think that was, that was a little bit interesting. Wow. But I was saying, so speaking of podcast, this podcast, this is the, if you guys are not familiar with, this is the Breakfast Club, and Hot 187, 106, was it 102? One is, I forget what the number is of the station in New York, and this is the Breakfast Club, and they were basically dogging out little hero of the moment, DJ Daniels, who we all love because that kid stole everybody's heart, and they really were not really nice about it. So I want you guys to listen to what they have to say.
This was race baiting. This little black boy shouldn't have been used as a prop. And I'm like, are y'all like black? I don't.
Right away, questioning if he's black. Yeah, he's black. I mean, what the heck are we talking about? Is Whitney Houston black? Was Malcolm X black? Halle Berry's black? I mean, what are you guys talking about? Is Zendaya black? I mean, what are you even saying? He's darker skinned than all of them.
Whatever, he's a person of color, obviously. Okay. So I don't know his exact ethnicity.
Oh, so now he's not African American. Oh, you guys, you remember when we used to say the one drop rule was bad? Somebody holler at these folks.
But when I saw that,
his hair was nappy.
His hair was.
And now you're questioning the boy's hair, who's had 13 brain operations. You are questioning his hair. I mean, is this what they would call tone deaf or what? It keeps going.
Not nappy at all. It wasn't. He was black.
The dad,
You think he was black?
His dad was black.
Yeah,
his dad was older. I don't know if that was his dad, but yeah, it seemed like that was his dad.
I just don't think Lil Will.
Well, now is the poor dad. It's not, they're even questioning that.
Yeah, he was black. It wasn't nappy. I mean, it was patchy, but it wasn't nappy.
The kid has got 13 operations. All right, how are you going to clean that fade up? Is what I want to know.
Well, it was
very effective.
I'm not gonna lie to you niggas.
So this is the backlash because they've been getting scoriated, and thank you for Black Twitter, Black social media to stand up for this kid. I'm sorry, there might be some rough language, but I think they kind of deserve some of this rough language. Take a listen.
Breakfast Club been finished, but I think this just put the icing on the cake. How dare y'all niggas sit up there and try to make fun of a kid that recovered from brain cancer, gang?
I literally feel like...
I mean, right. That's the main point to begin with. What gives you the right to criticize this kid at all? I mean, this is where you kind of go, you know what? God bless the little kid. That's all you do. That's what you say. Left or right, whatever your point, attack Trump, attack Vance, attack the administration, heck, attack Congress and every congressman or woman sitting in that podium, but you don't go after the kid. All right? That's what you don't do.
Everything has a limit and lines need to be drawn, seriously. And children, to me, are going to always be the limit.
Amen. Amen. For y'all who are saying that black people cannot make any sense, I'm sorry, Exhibit A.
Now, just hilarious. I get it. You're a comedian, and comedians often will take.
That I didn't know that they were comedians. I didn't know. Was anything they said funny? You guys let me know.
Some risk when it comes to their comedy, but this is not a laughing matter, nor is it humorous. Now, The Breakfast Club in general, that show should have been canceled a long time ago. Let's be honest. But to sit on that show and talk about the young man that was honored by the current president, this child is terminally ill, okay?
That's the thing. This is not like he is terminally ill. It's not that, oh my gosh, he's got all the world. I mean, a miracle can still happen. And we pray to God, please, Jesus, if any way you can help this poor child. I mean, everybody that's listening, if you could pray for this child to be healed by the hands of God, then hey, that's what we want. But this kid is terminally ill. You're going after a terminally ill child. All right.
I don't know his.
Now, The Breakfast Club in general, that show should have been canceled a long time ago. Let's be honest. But to sit on that show and talk about the young man that was honored by the current president, this child is terminally ill, okay? He's a brain cancer survivor, but terminally ill. And you proceed to attack his physical.
His hair ain't nappy, so that means he's not black. Like, what the fuck is you talking about, miss? His hair is patchy because he had like 12 brain surgeries. He got brain cancer. How do you work at the Breakfast Club and don't know this information, you idiot?
And again, you speaking on whether this kid hair is patchy and or nappy. That's not for you to talk about when all your looks are ridiculed.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves, and then for just hilarious to make that foul comment talking about the patches that was missing out of this young man's head. How dare you?
I mean, there you have it. I feel that this was vile. It was disgusting. I don't know what kind of joke you're trying to make, but it was a bad take. It was really a bad take, not a good take. Let me know what you guys think about this. Leave it in the comment below. David Glenn comes in. Sorry guys, working the new system out. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. And let's see, David Glenn said, if Kamala is black, that kid wins all the check marks. Yeah, that is the truth. I mean, that's the truth right there. Oh, is she? Is she? That's. I don't know. That one was rough. That one was rough, and I'm sorry to say that one's a little bit where I think that they went a little bit far and a little bit too cross the line on that one. But there are some people who are also crossing the line. We have this UN that's just a little bit crazy. It is funny because now we have President Trump wants to get out of a lot of these NATO nations that we've been funding for all this time, had our military backing them up. It's like billions, hundreds of millions of dollars, just funding their security, funding all this kind of things through USAID. Even their newspapers, we saw that they were being funded, and a lot of propaganda machines being funded, just ridiculous amount of money. And people were like going, what? All this USAID, all this things we definitely need it. And no, it's not a bad thing. And you're like, really? Are you guys serious? But they are stepping up, supposedly. Let's see what they're talking about. So this is one of the main chancellors or whatever, the UN, that I have no clue who elected this lady or what she's about. And I think it's one of those things where you're kind of going, who really is electing who over there? But usually what happens is their elections, somebody gets picked, but then they send these folks up to the EU that good luck knowing what they're about and whose pocket are they in.
As of this morning, the United States is applying a 25% tariff on imports of steel and aluminum. We deeply regret this measure. Tariffs.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So they're going through. So, don't feel bad of the countries like Canada and Mexico. This is worldwide, and this is basically because if you guys don't know, the EU doesn't even take our farm products in the United States. They don't buy our stuff, and they put heavily taxes. If we have a Chevy truck, you can't even buy a Chevy truck or whatever in like the UK, right? So it's not like they don't have tariffs on us, but all of a sudden, and man, just to compare, China has huge tariffs on Canada, on Mexico, on the United States. Have you heard anybody complain about the tariffs of China, by the way? I'm not trying to say anything, but hello, anything on that? Let me know.
Are taxes. They are bad for business and worse for consumers. They are disrupting supply chains. They bring uncertainty for the economy. Jobs are at stake, prices up. Nobody needs that on both sides, neither in the European Union nor in the United States. The European Union must act to protect consumers and business. The countermeasures we take today are strong but proportionate. As the United States are applying tariffs worth $28 billion, we are responding with countermeasures worth 26 billion euros. This matches the economic scope of the tariffs of the United States. Our countermeasures will be introduced in 2 steps, starting with April 1st and fully in place as of April 13th. In the meantime, we will always remain open to negotiations. We firmly believe that in a world fraught with geo-economic and political uncertainties, it is not in our common interest to burden our economies with such tariffs. We are ready to engage in a meaningful dialogue. I have entrusted Trade Commissioner Maroš Šefčovič to resume his talks to explore better solutions with the United States. As of this...
Right. But, they don't say nothing about the tariffs that they impose on us. Now, if you're a liberal economist, right, you don't like any tariffs. You want the world to be free of tariffs, and I understand, and I fully agree. I would like to have all this great free borders, trade. But what's happening, it's basically a good enough for you, but not good enough for me kind of double standards. If the EU has this huge tariffs on American goods, and then hey, you've been taxing our products very heavily, making them very hard to compete in your market. But then, hey, we'll take all your cheap stuff. Then, our market goes down. There's an imbalance, I think, that's happening that I think Trump is handling in a sort of way, right? Not everybody agrees with it. Heck, I'm still kind of confused about it. But one thing I do know, there's a tit for tat here that is not happening, and not a lot of people have been talking about it. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? ¿Qué pasó, primo? We got Vasco scenario on the rumbles. The Brady Green Machine, he says, my uncle in Spain had a Chevy. Right, and they do have those, the small, tiny 4-cylinder Chevys over there. I think they even go to 6 cylinders. But they're hard to you're comparing it to like the Volvos and stuff or Fiats. They're way cheaper, right? They were more expensive though. I'm talking about definitely, and they're probably more expensive now. There's all kinds of hurdles that they have to go through. Tree Rock says she can keep her government cheese. Definitely. I mean, that's the thing that people don't get. The United States is pretty self-sufficient if we start manufacturing stuff back here, and I think that's what's they're trying to make it happen. They're trying to have this, the United States be a little bit more self-sufficient, which I'm all for. Every country should be more self-sufficient. I think we're moving away from this whole movement of, this. People do say the whole globalist movement, but it's true because when you have this whole ridiculous globalist movement, you don't know who's in charge. You don't know where none of this is going. Everybody that's just like who's answering to who. I mean, when they started introducing this whole carbon tax, what the heck is going on with that? How is that regulated? And I agree, Vasco's saying we're as well. Yeah, he's in Canada, so I know Canada's try to tighten up his belt also. They're like, hey, we got to start looking at our own energy or the own products. How do we, farm and stuff? I mean, it just helps the nation when the nation is able to be self-sufficient. And hey, whatever's extra, sell off. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Hey, Lady Jen, hola. Queen, King, and Sir Glenn. Yay! Well, I'm flying solo. Queen is out having dinner. But I will pass that along, Lady Jen. Thank you for hanging out with us. And as to no one but my wife. Don't we all? Don't we all? I mean, yeah, that's the main thing. It's if we don't answer to them, then we're in big trouble. That's the main trouble that everybody's kind of going on. It's like, hey, if you don't answer to your wife, then we're heading off into a different direction. See, but things are going a little bit wonky. When higher academia is the one place where things are a little bit murky to begin with, but now they're getting fully loony bin. And we will see here the irony is that UCLA professors' only hope is for a violent military coup to take out Trump. Now, make this make sense to me. Isn't school like the whole place where we don't want any wars? How did that change to professors talking about no more needless wars to now they want a violent military coup? This is topsy-turvy, bizarro land. I really don't get it. So I'm confused. I thought President Donald Trump was a Yahtzee and Sidler and scary totalitarian stuff. Turns out UCLA had no try to control your shock and amazement. Says his only hope is for violent resistance by our military to oust America's democratically elected 47th president. That's right. So I guess Peter Ernella, professor of criminal law. Professor of criminal law. That's wow, right? So professor of criminal law, University of California, Los Angeles, urged the U.S. military to take action against President Donald Trump as the only way out of what he delusionally believes to be an imminent alliance between Trump's U.S. and Vladimir Putin's Russia. I mean, we can't stop talking about Russia. They're still with this Russia thing, and it's insane. They're gonna keep milking this forever, right? So I guess he wrote this. At this point, my only hope for the U.S. to avoid becoming an ally to Russia is a violent resistance by our military. Tragically, I say that because the military are trained to avoid any politically motivated intervention. Now, I mean, there's one thing to understand all this, but this must be one of those professors who cheers on war that's happening between Russia and Ukraine. And of course, they're cheating for the Ukraine. But stop to think, a lot of the stuff is happening over there. Remember, these are the same people who don't want you armed in the United States, but they're free to send all the kind of arms over there to Ukraine. And a lot of those arms, I'm sorry to tell you, end up in Central America, South America, and Mexico. All right. They keep finding a lot of those weapons in those areas managed by cartels. So, bienvenido a la realidad. All right. Yeah, it's not only tragic to say that, it's also tragic that this guy's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know, I love sometimes a red state always has like the quirky, so we say editorials. Remember that our military has sworn to oath to protect the very Constitution that Trump and his criminal enablers are tearing down. Will some courageous military heroes engage a counter coup? What, pray tell, son, are you trying to say? Trump anticipated that possibility and acted swiftly to minimize the type of intervention. Ultimately, we will get to what we deserve by giving Trump a second chance to destroy our democracy. So, I'm sorry, this is kind of rich, right? Because all the people that are trying to, just grandstand into all this are basically saying, yeah, it's okay for this stuff to happen. It's okay for you guys to do this. It's okay for wars, I guess now. So why not? Why not have an insurrection? I mean, what we got that going on? I don't know. It's a little bit crazy, but you guys tell me what's up with this and how can we turn a little bit of the page and maybe get back to those common sense professors that really wanted nothing to do with war, but now we have quite the opposite. So we'll see what's going on with that. Let me know. Good for yeah. She is partying on with some fellow intellectuals, and leave me plebeian talking to you fine folks. Tank is calling for violence. That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I thought they were against violence. I don't know. Hey, we got a cousin Vasco's now down in the YouTube saying, "Sup chat, make sure to hit that like and stuff." You like that? I try to do that with my best Canadian. So I don't know. Looking like the 51 state. If you guys don't jump on the 51 state, we got Greenland is almost there. That's all I'm saying. All right. That's all I'm saying. I believe the UCLA needs to take a history lesson about how World War II was started. I bet that he teaches he's a law professor. You would think he would understand some of this, some of the ramifications to asking for something like this. Everyone likes to listen to the song about Edwin Starr again. War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Now, say it again. The lawyer is clearly a war hawk. You know what? It does seem like, we're getting a lot more. I thought everybody was for peace. I don't get it. I thought it was flowers and stuff. They do buy their weapons from the U.S., but they also buy their weapons from China, and they also buy their weapons. I know that a lot of people don't know this. It's also a huge manufacturer of weapons. There's two countries that people hardly talk about: Israel and Brazil. Brazil has huge. They make a bunch of our tanks, a lot of our armaments, and those countries really cheer a lot of this stuff on. I mean, I'm just saying, we're not the only, got war hawks in the what is it? War hawks on the war path? Could we say? Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, we could say that for real. That is an awesome song. Yeah. Oh man, it's going crazy, but these judges and things kind of keep on giving it. So I guess another judge went off the rails on one of Trump's executive orders. Now, this is nothing more than people not understanding the separations of the administration. The judiciary branch is not there to make laws. The judiciary branch, my understanding, I mean, didn't we have those little songs like Schoolhouse Rock and all that kind of things telling you all the different ones, or even earlier, the Animaniacs, right? I mean, all those songs telling you the separation. So basically, they don't make these laws. They're supposed to just enforce them. So I guess security clearance for a slew of bad actors from this step got revoked. Obviously, this is part of the opinion piece, but supposedly this happened just recently. All right. If you guys didn't see that, President Donald Trump signs executive order suspending security clearances from employees at Perkins Coie. All right. Now, this organization was one of the ones who played the whole thing. Remember when it was shown that the Russian hoax that everybody talked about, Hillary kept talking about it, and it was a nothing burger.
Sir, your administration has made it a priority both to end lawfare and the weaponization of government, and also to hold those who have engaged in lawfare accountable. One of the law firms that has been involved in that is called Perkins Coie. That's also a law firm that has engaged in unlawful DEI practices. This executive order will suspend security.
And I've watched it take place.
This executive order.
Right, and don't forget the whole DEI practices of, basically legal discrimination. We can, we're going to discuss about that later. With Ursula, we were talking about kind of breaking down the whole DEI thing. Because she has a different take on it. She thinks at certain places it is acceptable. We're going to be bringing you more on that.
Order will suspend security clearances and access to certain federal resources for that law firm, and also launch a holistic review of unlawful DEI practices at some of the nation's largest law firms.
This is an absolute honor to sign. What they've done is it's just terrible. It's a weaponization. You could say weaponization against a political opponent, and it should never be allowed to happen again.
I know some people
and you're
don't
looking
like
at about
that.
15 different firms.
Remember that this whole law firm, if you like that whole law firm, meaning like you use all these kind of things, all these law firms and all this kind of bad actors, remember that the pendulum swings. So this is a good rule of thumb. If you think everything President Trump is doing right now is bad and unconstitutional, right? Remember when the coin is flipped with the Biden administration, a lot of those same people that are criticizing Trump now cheered for that same lawfare to happen against people on the right. So this is just a pendulum swinging on that one. So I guess what's happening, so a federal judge has blocked the President Trump from revoking the security clearance of Perkins Coie, the law firm which helped develop the Russian hoax. These activist judges have to go. How can a judge force a president to give someone a security clearance? I mean, it just boggles the mind, I mean, you're just basically saying, hey, you can't actually practice law, right? You can practice law that's literally pushing a hoax and pushing practices that now have been declared, illegal, but you want to stop this from happening. How is this a judge? How is that a judge? I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you think about this? Is this whole lawfare thing ridiculous, or is President Trump making too much of it? Je ne sais. And that is chicken of the sea. Chicken of the sea is for tomorrow because, Friday we have no meat. No meat for Lent, doing the Lenten rest. You have all the chicken of the sea that you want. So, it's just kind of crazy. But, part of this whole hoax and stuff that's been happening is we're starting to see a lot of this stuff kind of like develop, and a lot of the stuff's coming to light already. Okay, so some of the things that are happening. So we have Doge saying, the children age 11 and under were granted $312 million in loans during the zombie apocalypse. You can read it there. I'm not going to say it, but the interwebs sometimes interwave too much, and this is one of the things they don't like, right? But this is some where your money's going. So I guess this is from Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, with a great name. In 2020, 2021, SBA granted 5,593 loans for $312 million to borrowers whose only listed owner was 11-year-old or younger at the time of the loan. Remember this kind of stuff that happened with this whole stupid like Freddie Mac, Freddie Mae, and all that kind of ridiculous things where everybody was getting loans. You know, if you guys watched all the movies and stuff like that, like Wall Street and all that stuff, you see like people who are heavy cash, like, you know, exotic dancers, buying all kinds of flipping houses, raising the house market and all this kind of things. But then now you have like 11-year-olds or younger, you know, getting all these loans. Where the heck was all this money going? That's what really people have been trying to find out. You know, we have all this money going everywhere, and now we're trying to see where all this money's going. But hey, stop looking into our private loans and anything like that, of course, right? I mean, what the heck is going on with this? Where's all this money going, and where the heck did the money go? That's the main thing, right? That's what we want to know. Where's all this money going, and where did it go? That's the main problem with a lot of this, because we're trying to say, hey, this is not something that we wanted. You know, we wanted to make it easier to get some of these things, but we need to know where all this money's going and who got it. It's just going a little bit crazy. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. At one time, we was folded in the fish category. It's still okay to eat on Friday. You know what, Sir Glenn, we were talking about this. There was a cute letter by a parish in Louisiana, and they wanted to know, was Gator okay to eat during Lent? And I think it was the bishop who said, you know what, it hangs out in the ocean, and you know what, it should be okay. It should be okay to eat, you know. He did sign it, and it was like, I think that that is cute, because all you gators are not safe during Lent, just so you know. You've been warned. I think it's if it swims, you know, you're in trouble. You're a little bit of trouble if it swims. Yeah. Also, clam chowder, New England clam chowder, not Manhattan clam chowder. I personally am not a fan of Manhattan clam chowder. You know, Lady Jen, Ursula really enjoys the chowders. I'm not louder with the chowders. Not a big fan of clams, but unless they're Rockefellered, I'm not into the things. But yeah, some of those are very delicious soups. I said, yeah, that is true. If you guys don't know, it's a little tiny, like a beaver looking bearish animal. You know, that's South America. So yeah, that is true. Yeah. If it swims, you're in trouble. I mean, in Africa, hippos might be in trouble. You know, I don't know. Pretty much, right? Show us the money. Where the heck is this money going in? I don't know. Well, I hope we find out where this money might be going, because we want to see some of this money that's coming over here, and we want to see where some of this money going. Supposedly, this is the tax that we are trying to get lifted. This is just recent. And let me see if the audio plays on this one now.
No tax for anybody who makes less than $150,000 a year. That's his goal.
There you go. How about that? You know what? I like that. Do you like that? I like that. I like that. I really like that. Now, if you were saying that you're going to eliminate the IRS, I'll be more for it. But this is a good start.
So that's what I'm working for.
So you're saying when it looks chaotic and unpredictable from the outside, that there actually is a master plan when it comes to these tariffs?
It is not chaotic. And the only one who thinks it's chaotic is someone who's being silly. He said reciprocal tariffs.
Nobody expected him to announce 50% tariffs this morning.
And that's the kind of thing where I think people are going. And what is with this? This is to some saying this is reciprocal, meaning you tariff me, I'm going to tariff you, right? And that's the key on some of these things, right?
He needed to break some guy in Ontario who said he was going to tax American energy 25%. The president of the United States in the White House says, "Oh, no, you won't," and breaks him. Breaks him in what? By a tweet and a truth.
That is true. So for those who don't know, I believe it was Ontario who said they were going to charge a lot of this money under contract, by the way, that was going into the East Coast. And my understanding is correct in that a lot of that money is, a lot of that energy is surplus energy, meaning it has to leave Canada's grid and is contracted to flow into, some backy cities like New York and all that. But that all changed. That happened like in a tweet. He basically put out a statement and it was backed off. Now they're talking about it.
And you think that's chaotic? You know what I think that is? I think that is the thank God we have a president who's taking care of us. Because if you were in one of those states and you thought your energy prices were going to go up 25%, and you said, "Where's the president?" And all of a sudden he came down like thunder to make that end, you'd say, "Cool. I'm glad that's the guy in the White House."
There you go. And that's the key, right? If we have some of these things, so if Trump's saying, all right, if you make less than $150,000 a year, how about I eliminate your taxes? I say I'm all for that. I say I am all for that. I am like, this is truly was somebody that said, "Hey, let's help the poor man out." And with that, the chariot must be warmed up for the fair maiden. Thank you so much. This was going to be a short one. Thanks everybody for hanging out today. Really, really appreciate it. We might try to get in maybe another birds coming up because we got like a ton of stories that we want to share with you and cover. We just haven't had the chance, and since moving around a little bit, we probably will be moving around some more, jumping around a little bit because we got a lot of commitments coming up. But this one's kind of like short and sweet, and everybody's up. I think if you can, I believe Netters Network, Troy Perselli, Last Call with Troy Perselli, are on live pretty soon in a few minutes. So if you can, help them out. Also, my boy Chicken of the Sea in the house, the basketball scenario. If you can subscribe to his YouTube and Rumble, he's trying to get him back to 1,000 because I think, the YouTube sometimes eliminates some folks and will be appreciated. My boy Tree Rock Creation, follow him on X. And I think, I don't know, bro, you're still working on your YouTubes, or I don't know if you're doing more YouTube, Rumble, or something, but he's got channels and all that. Like to thank Lady Jen for hanging out with us. Lady Jen is always a pleasure. And the great Sir Glenn hanging out with us. Thank you so much, sir. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Again, I'll try to maybe upload some more shorts and more clips that are coming up. The boss man is chariot must be warmed up. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This was a short but goodie. And we got some more stuff coming on. So stay tuned to the channel. If you could, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget that our charity of the month is our Displaced Hermit, which are monks that are secluded, ready to pray for you. Even if you can't give them nothing, please send them a request. healing, family members, something that you want to break through from God, men who are set aside to pray for God, man, I cannot tell you, I cannot stress this enough. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Even if you're not Catholic, bro, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you prayer works. It works and it's amazing. God bless you all and have a great night. See you soon.
Ave Maria, Maria, rogai por nós, Santa Mãe de Deus.